Waka waka waka, what's up, and welcome back to the channel for yet another FC Finch review. And as you can see, we have something of the Star Trek nature. No, not Eagle Moss. I don't have any of those to review on hand. We are kind of waiting on the fan home collection to kick off in the next couple months here. But today we are doing kind of a Hot Wheels Star Trek blend. We're going to take a look at the Hot Wheels U.S.S. Enterprise NCC 1701. And as you can see before me, I have two copies, one in the box, one outside. I wouldn't review the ship otherwise. I always kind of want to take it out of the box just to take a look at it. This is not a normal Hot Wheels, as you can see. So we are going to take a quick look at the ship in the box. And first off, I do want to give a shout out to my buddy Mike. I actually found this in a store a couple weeks ago, and then a week ago, he actually gave me a copy that he found himself in a store. So again, huge thanks to Mr. Mike for getting this to me. It's awesome that I have two to review. So we're going to take a look at the one in the box right now. Move the outside ship off to the side, and straight away you can see, of course, they got the classic Hot Wheels logo. Attention, danger, all that stuff. It's small and don't let kids eat it, all that good stuff. You have a very, very nice animation of the Enterprise. This, of course, being the Enterprise from the Kelvin timeline. I believe that's all Hot Wheels did. They did do a U.S.S. Vengeance. I have that somewhere, just one copy though. And they did do a Narada, which, as I understand, Eagle Moss didn't do. It had no plans to do. You got a nice red along the nacelles. You got a blue for the Bassard collectors, as it was done in the Kelvin movie. Of course, you can tell on the ship itself they were white. We're not going to talk too much about the ship. You can see it front and center. It does display very well in the box. So again, if you only have one and you want to leave it in the box, that is perfectly fine. As you can see pretty much everything the ship has to offer. Star Trek U.S.S. Enterprise NCC 1701 by Mattel. It's part of the Hot Wheels Screen Time Collection, issue 2 of 10. And if you turn it on the back, you can see U.S.S. Enterprise NCC 1701, a whole bunch of legal mumbo jumbo. You got the Star Trek logo back here. You got the Mattel logo, and it's for ages 0 to 3. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the box. So let's move the box off to the side. We'll start talking about the ship, and I'm going to pull the ship off to the stand. And straight away, so I'm just going to get into the cost of the ship. If you can find it in stores, you're looking at about $1.50 max at most locations. So try to keep that in mind when we're being a little too overly critical, because that's how we Trekkies roll. But straight away, you can see this is a three-piece design, by the way. I'm believing this is die cast for the saucer section and the neck, and then you got die cast for the star drive, and then you have a rubbery plastic for the nacelles. You can see they bounce all over. By the way, straight away, I do got to point this out. There is nacelle misalignment issues, as to be expected from rubber. One is just they're teetering off the side, all that. Again, it's $1.50. What do you want? And you see the pins down here. You got one pin connecting the star drive to the saucer section, and another pin connecting the star drive to the back of the saucer section, and right through there is your rubber piece for the nacelles, and that's how this thing's pretty much built. So we'll start off with the saucer, and again, for what you're paying, the panel lining is just beautiful. You can see all the little panels that the Enterprise has to offer. It looks like this actually looks like kind of a mix between the movie Enterprise and the Kelvin Enterprise. You got your little phaser banks right here, and then of course you have the NCC 1701 U.S.S. Enterprise painted on there. You do have a very nice gray painted on the top of the bridge sensor dome, and then a very nice bronze painted just on that. That looks really good. You can see all the little indents for the bridge pod, and then got some gray painted all the way back on the top of the impulse drive. No paint on the impulse drive to speak of. That is okay. You even have the line going back to the running lights mold, and lots of good molded detail on this. Moving on to the bottom again, you got the more panel line. You got a whole bunch of mold information down here. I mean, it is what it is. What do you want? You got a sensor dome painted a sensor dome on the bottom. It looks like this is it's either cast and painted in white. I'm going to assume that. Again, I'm not I collect Hot Wheels. I'm not too deep into the production process. The deflector is gorgeously done for what you're paying. Again, you got the little divots molded in there. You got a nice outside dark blue. You got a nice light blue on the inside, and then a nice little black for the particle emitter. Looks really superb. You got your pins down here. Again, you know, what do you want? You can see a little bit of the lining break up. And the nacelles are being rubber. You can even see the little panels molded in the pylons. That looks good. You got a nice little red, which I don't believe is screen accurate, but I'm not complaining about it. I think it looks good. I think it kind of ties it in with the original series. You got the NCC 1701. The star collectors are not painted at all. In fact, the NCC 1701 and the stripe is really all that's painted. But you see, you got tons of detail on here. I mean, they don't skimp on the detail on this. So you get, for all the misalignments, I mean, for the price you're getting, it does look really good. You got the little neck section. It looks like they tried to mold in the torpedo launcher. I mean, this thing is like stupid small. In fact, speaking of small, let's move the box out of the way. Let's get to some comparisons. Actually, before we do the comparisons, I just want to go over the one accessory. You do get a plastic black stand for the ship, and it does have the Federation logo molded in it. That does look really good. And how this works, you just got this hole on the bottom. You're just going to plug that in. And in fact, let me get a stand so you can kind of see it a bit better than that. And you can see she sits on there. She actually kind of sits at an angle. It does look really good. And yeah, it'll spin on there. It'll spin and just kind of hold this way. I like how they kind of got it to balance on there. So you can kind of keep it whatever way you want, which is pretty cool. And we'll do some quick comparisons. Now we'll do the comparisons. So first off, let's get it in there with an Eagle Moss model. Let's get in there with the Enterprise refit so you can see just how it looks. Get a quick size in there. And again, you can see the Eagle Moss, far and away more detailed and bigger, but again, you're talking $25 versus a $2 at most model. Then of course we'll bring it in there with, hold on, let me get it ready. There we go. We'll bring it in there with the XL 17018. You can see that the Enterprise, she's a wee thing. The Hot Wheels version is. She's very wee, and we'll kind of get them from the side. Yeah, it's just insane how small this is. And this is supposed to be the bigger one, too. The Kelvin ship is supposed to be massive, at least like 3 times the size of the Enterprise, or I think twice the size. I apologize. And then, of course, we'll get it in there with a Kelvin verse ship. We'll get the U.S.S. Vengeance in there. And you know what? This actually works. If we remember, Khan was saying that the Vengeance is like 3 times the size of the Enterprise. And you know what? If you want a little Enterprise to go with your Vengeance Eagle Boss, this will definitely work. Again, these guys look perfectly scaled. But yeah, and they'll get them from the front real quick. And yeah, there we go for our comparisons. So let's sum it up on the Hot Wheels U.S.S. Enterprise. I suppose we should specify that this is the Kelvin universe. And yeah, you know what? It's got its flaws, but for less than $1.50, honestly, what do you want? This is just a real neat little piece. It displays well inside and outside the package, however you want to keep it. In fact, I really do think it goes very well with a U.S.S. Vengeance display if you want to reenact the scene in the movie from Into Darkness. So the model itself, you know what, for less than $1.50, this thing's got a lot of nice detail. I mean, the nacelles are what they are, but I can't complain too much because we're not seeing a $25 price tag like we are with an Eagle Moss model. So yeah, if you can find this in the store, I do highly recommend it. Now, as I understand, this is actually a relatively old mold, but it is starting to show up in stores again. I found it. I've heard from my friends who have found tons of them. So again, get yourself out to the stores. I found this in a grocery store while doing my weekly shopping. So just get out there, check out the Hot Wheels aisle, and you should be able to procure this really easily if you just want a nice little Star Trek trinket on the cheap that pretty much goes well in your collection. And that being said, this is going to conclude this review, so you guys know what to do at this point. If you found this review fun and informative, hit that like button. I do greatly appreciate it. I do Eagle Moss stuff. I am going to be getting in on the new fan home collection, so please, Eagle Moss fans, patience, stick around for that. I will be getting in on this stuff. We'll have stuff to review on the table as soon as possible. And of course, if you want to see other Eagle Moss reviews, you can check out my link in the description below, or my Hot Wheels. I'll have my playlist to my Eagle Moss and my Hot Wheels. If you are a Star Trek or just a general Hot Wheels fan, you could check all those out. And of course, subscribe if you are not currently subscribed. I do greatly appreciate all the support from everybody. That is it. I have been FC Finch. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for making me a part of your collecting journey. Live long and prosper.